Today I reached halfway through From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and wow, this thing is tropey. So I'm going to talk about it. Sit down, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's chat about it. So this is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It has vampires, werewolves. I'm told it's spicy, and that it has lots and lots of humor, which it does. Sometimes it is so humorous that it borderlines on like it's making fun of a lot of tropes. If you don't know what a trope is something that happens and reoccurs in media, such as enemies becoming lovers, or, you know, there's this girl that's not like other girls. An example of that would be like Twilight. Bella wasn't like other girls, even though there was plenty of girls at her school. But because Bella was the one for Edward, that is why, you know, Edward fell in love with her and not like Jessica Stanley, who did canonically, I think, ask Edward out. I haven't reread Midnight Sun since it came out, so I'm gonna have to reread Midnight Sun at some point. But Edward does mention something about Jessica, I think, asking him out or something. But back to From Blood and Ash. This book follows a girl named Poppy. She is supposed to be what's known as the Maiden. The Maiden is supposed to be this chosen from birth to usher in a new era. Poppy's life has never been her own. The Maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked on, never to be spoken to, and never to experience pleasure. That's where the spice comes in, I guess. Waiting for the day of her ascension when she, I guess, becomes immortal or something. She would rather be with guards fighting back the evil that took her family. Her whole family was, like, butchered by vampires, by the way. Than preparing to be found worthy of the gods. But the choice has never been hers. And she falls in love with her guard named Hawk. Hawk is a mouthy and very sarcastic guy, and I love him for that. But dude, sometimes I'm like, shut up. Now, seeing as this is a halfway point video, my opinion might change, but so far this book is so tropey that is really laughable. A lot of the times I'm like, what am I reading right now? What is this? Because you've got the whole, you know, forbidden love trope. You have not like other girls because she kills vampires even though she's supposed to be this almost like a nun. She's not supposed to, you know, have friends, although she has one friend that's appointed to her named Tawny. She's trained to be a guard by her head guard, Victor. And then she ends up encountering Hawk at a bar that she's not supposed to be at. And he ends up becoming her new personal guard when her old guard, Rylan, gets killed. Also, there's a guy called the Dark One that wants to hurt her and kill her or something. And every time someone says Dark One, I'm like, why does this remind me of Once Upon a Time? Because Rumpelstiltskin's called the Dark One in Once Upon a Time, so I'm like, every time they say Dark One, I'm like, Rumple? Some people told me that it was supposed to be intense, super intense, and I'm like, alright, I don't mind that much intenseness. You know, I read ACOTAR, which had a lot of bloody, gory scenes. So, I didn't mind that. I'm like, okay, give me some action, give me some fighting, give me some blood and gore. As long as it has, like, a good ending. The action in it, yes, is good. There are some people I would love to punch, including the Duke and this Lord Maven guy, who have nearly assaulted her. Also, in the first 100 pages, she nearly gets sexually assaulted twice. Our girl Poppy does. Just, wow. I'm not hating on this book in any way. So far, I'm giving it a 5 just for the point that it is so funny. I love the banter between Poppy and Hawk so much. I can't get over how funny it is to me, which is why I don't understand where the intenseness is. It has some, like, intensive parts. On the intense scale, I'm going to give the intenseness, like, a 2, because they were fighting and flirting. They were literally flirting in the middle of a battle. That is so tropey. It's like the dagger again, like when the enemies to lovers, one just puts their dagger against the other one's throat and then they end up kissing. It's like... So I'm not seeing any of the intensive bits at all, but I am enjoying this. It's just, I don't think it's how I'm supposed to be enjoying it, if you know what I mean. Like, if everyone else tells you, oh my god, this book was so sad, this movie was so sad, and you can't help but laugh at it, that's how I'm feeling. To be completely honest, it has a lot of, like, campy feelings. Like, it is so full of those tropes that I'm finding it kind of just laughable for that alone. I'm not sure if I'll be reading the second one, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, but I bought it anyway because where I was at, they were buy one, get one free, so of course I can't pass that up, especially when they're hardback. So yeah, so far I'm going to be giving it a 4.5 stars, but again, halfway through, my opinions might change for the better or the worse. And plus, again, if a book might be for me, but it might not be for you. Everything is on opinion, and that is just as valid as my opinion, you know? Because lately I have been seeing a lot of people bashing each other for their opinions about books, especially now that people are more open to hearing about problematic authors. I am one for separating art from artist. I am emo. Couldn't tell. And a lot of bands that I listen to are now coming out for being problematic. They've done things in the past, or someone from the band has said something in the past, and a lot of people are just burning their CDs and throwing away their shirts, and I'm not one for doing that. If I bought some merch, especially for how expensive merch is, if I bought some merch, I'm going to keep my merch. You know, if I already paid for it when they weren't problematic, I'm going to still keep it. Am I going to wear it outside and show that kind of support? No. Will I wear it to bed? Probably. And now it's happening with books. Like, I just fell in love with the works of Sarah J. Maas. And she is highly problematic. Which I should do a video soon, but I don't know how to, like, put things up on a screen to, like, show what I'm saying yet, so I have to figure that out. If you know how to do that, please tell me in the comments, because I'm still new to YouTube. It's just, I really don't understand what the point is in bullying people for their opinions. Like, I am a huge Harry Potter nerd, which I know these don't match. Some are first edition hardbacks, other ones aren't. These three are first edition hardbacks. Actually, fun story, I got my copy of Deathly Hallows right here at a midnight party when it came out. Still one of my greatest memories with my highly problematic adopted mother. That's a story for another day. But, and these two, my Prisoner of Azkaban and my Chamber of Secrets, are not first edition. I think those are like second prints or something. I'm not that sure. But I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. Always will be. Do I like J.K. Rowling? No. Sorry, I had to put my glasses on. But do I support problematic people? No. There's a way to do things without actually, you know, supporting them. You can buy things secondhand, which is what I did with my Infernal Devices and most of my Cassandra Clare books. Right here. I have my Infernal Devices. Right here. I have my Chain of Gold. I buy things mostly off eBay for that reason. I don't support problematic people, but I'm still going to read their works if they're highly recommended. And eBay, yard sales, secondhand shops, used bookstores are all perfect ways to buy books from problematic authors so you can still enjoy their work without supporting them openly. I'm sorry for this little tirade, but it's something that I have been wanting to say for quite a while. And I just felt like it needed to be said. Because I don't see what the whole thing is with bullying other people and being like, you don't need to read this book. This person is bad. You shouldn't like their work. You shouldn't like anything that they write. You need to burn your books. It's like when the author of Wicked Saints, Emily Duncan, got openly exposed for bullying. People were throwing and burning her books and just completely being rude. It's like, you don't need to burn a book, just donate it. There are someone that's going to want to read it. You know, sell it on eBay. I mean, there is people out there that do get a thrill from ripping pages out of books and burning them. But I don't see the appeal. I think that there are people out there that are less privileged that can't just go buy brand new books. I know I used to be one of them. I would have to look for years to buy books to complete a whole series. I didn't have places like Barnes & Noble open to me. My love of reading fantasy was not encouraged in my family at all. If it wasn't historical works, then I wasn't really supposed to be reading it, which really limited me from buying fantasy books. I know I had only thrift stores and yard sales open to me for the last 10 plus years. This is my first year of being on the internet, being able to openly buy things off of like eBay, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Walking into Barnes & Noble for the first time nearly made me cry because I had never been allowed to go inside of one. And there's a lot of book readers out there that were like me and they don't have those resources open. You know what I'm saying? There are just a lot of people out there that could enjoy these books. You don't have to burn them or throw them away. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. But there are also people out there that don't know that these people are problematic because they probably just don't even care. And I'm not saying it's bad to not care, but if you just don't, you just don't. Sorry to go on that little tirade, but I just really needed to get that out. It's like, if you feel it's your duty to throw a book away or burn it or rip pages out of it, do so. That's your choice. That is your book that you bought. But please think about other people, because they could probably use that book. For me, reading was an escapism. I grew up in foster care. I grew up moving from place to place to place. So books became my only friends. I learned not to get attached to people. I learned to get attached to books because most of my school libraries were gonna have the books that I was reading at the last home, you know? And even afterwards, I was adopted by a highly narcissistic family. I'm not going to get really that much into it, but like I said, my love of reading was not allowed unless it was the Bible or something that was historical, which really got me into books about history, and because I already had a love of history before I got adopted at 9 years old, and it just kind of stemmed from that. I'm like, okay, I guess I can read stuff about Henry VIII and his wives, and ancient Rome, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, which now I'm kind of educated in all that, but that wasn't the point. And books became my only friends through all of that. I found books to be my escapism, especially fantasy. It felt great to just get into a world that wasn't mine at the moment and just enjoy someone else's struggles. Like, oh damn, they're, you know, in a fight for their lives. At least I'm not dealing with that, you know. At times depression can feel like that, not gonna lie. I guess I don't know what I'm saying at this point. It's just a lot of jumbled trying to explain this to people because I don't understand bullying people for their like in books. I don't understand what the hype is in bullying someone because they like Cassandra Clare's books, even though it's okay to acknowledge someone is problematic and still read their books. I still see people that have said, you know, all these people are problematic, and then they'll still recommend their books. And then bully someone else for liking it. It's like, make it make sense, you know? Make it make sense. If you're gonna bully somebody, have the same energy. Don't recommend those books. If you think the author is that horrible of a person, donate your books and don't recommend them. Simple. I just separate the work from the artist. If you can't, donate them. Try not to burn them. If you feel like you need to, again, do so. Burn your books. It's your book. After all, it is your book. Do what you want with it, but that's my point. I don't mean to go on this whole big long. I was going to make this video like 5 minutes long, and now it's 15. So, yeah. Back to From Blood and Ash before I did that whole tirade. Still giving it a 4.5 right now. I might give it some later or off of it some later, but yeah. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, go ahead and leave me a dislike. I'm still getting used to YouTube. And if you have any suggestions or comments or recommendations on how to make my channel better, please do in the comments below. I love you all, and I really hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye-bye!